Blue, the inside, go. We competing today.
Go. There you go.
We're moving. We're moving.
This is Jets Game Day with Robert Saleh, presented by FanDuel.
There will be no Jets football this Sunday, but we take no buys. Coming up, we'll check in with head coach Robert Saleh and hear from Brian Baldinger and Ethan Greenberg. But we start in the studio with Bart Scott and Leger Douzable. Bart, what has you most encouraged by what you've seen from the Jets through the first 5 games?
Well, I think the plus is the defense, right? The defense plays at a high level. I know they took a step back maybe last week, but they've been playing at a high level. They've been consistent. They've been dependable, and they have a lot to build off of. This defensive line, I think, can be elite. I think it's good for them to get a little time away, trying to get their legs back. They've been, on a crazy run, right? We talk about 30 plays, 40 plays and a half. That's ridiculous. I think they need to get refreshed, rejuvenated. Reinforcements are coming when you talk about Davis coming back. I look forward to seeing what they can do when they come back and go on a good, healthy run. C.J. Mosley has been a bright spot. And, of course, Franklin Myers.
Leger, what has you most concerned? Where does this team have to get better over the course of the last 12 games?
Yeah, first on offense, you have to start a lot faster. I mean, you can not only have 6 plays in the first quarter, you're putting your defense out there to dry. And then also the receivers have to catch the football. Too many missed opportunities, drop passes, and then the quarterback just making easy throws when they're there in pivotal situations. Yeah, Zach, we know you can make the home run threat. We know you can throw the ball down the field. But just making those simple plays when they're there to be had. A perfect example is on a screen pass last week to Jamison Crowder. If he makes that completion, it's probably going to be a touchdown or explosive play. And then on defense, understanding situational football. 2nd and long, 3rd and long, alert screen, alert draw. This week, Atlanta switched it up. They ran a trap play, which is an extension of the draw. So you have to understand, teams want to get back on track in 2nd and 3rd and long. So you have to understand what they're doing.
But has the defense exceeded your expectations considering the injuries? I know they had their struggles against Atlanta and London, but still top 10 in yards per play in the NFL.
What exceeded my expectations is the cornerback play on the back end. Sure. I thought, coming into this season that the safeties would be the strength. Marcus Mays missed time. We've had, some other guys going on IR. They just have to learn, to Douzable's, point, how to get off the field, right? Understanding conceptually what teams are trying to do to you. And that's really going to come with self-scouting. It's really going to be important that they self-scout and see how they're being attacked.
Offensively, the big injury up front was to Mekhi Becton. How have the tackles held up? Because it seems like in protection, these guys are holding up, but as far as the run game, the Jets got to get some more traction there.
Yeah, you talk about a veteran guy like Morgan Moses, who started so many games in Washington. I think played 4 or 5 years without missing any game. So you knew that he would be able to step in and play at a high level. I believe George Fent coming into this season, and me and Bart talked about this, I felt he was better suited for the scheme and the run game. So I felt like he would take a next step. And you've seen that over the last few weeks, this offensive line really gelling well together, being able to protect Zach Wilson. He hasn't really been touched back there, I would say, since probably week 1, if you're honestly speaking. So it's getting them going in the run game is the next step. Can this offensive line be able to move people? And I really loved the first play of the game. You saw that they caved the the defensive line from the Atlanta Falcons back, and Michael Carter, I believe, was able to get about 5 or 6 yards. So you want to be able to come out with that attitude. Elijah Vera Tucker has played really well since week 1. You can see his growth, and the reason why everybody was so happy that the Jets traded up to get him in the first round. So this offensive line has played well, and they've made strides the last 3 or 4 weeks.
Coming up after the break, we'll check in with Jets head coach Robert Saleh.
Now it's time to go inside the walls, brought to you by FanDuel.
Your rookies, comparably to every other team in the National Football League, have the most snaps. What's it been like coaching this group?
It's exciting because I know just through experience where this group is going to go. I know that it's hard to see now sometimes, especially through all of this, but I can assure you, this is a really cool thing that's happening. And these rookies who are getting all this playing time, they're only going to get better as time goes. And the faster that happens with all this experience, the more explosive they're going to become. And it's a really cool young group that we've got going on right now, and it's only going to get better.
I'm going to ask you about the individuals in a second, but similarities in some of these games. The record says 1-4, but if you look at Carolina and Atlanta, you make the runs in the second half, you're right there, one possession game.
Yeah, I think every game has been similar in the sense of our second half, the team coming out of the locker room after adjustments have been made, and we come out in that second half in every game, and we've played at a pretty high level. And then obviously last week, really dug ourselves a hole in that first half, which we got to stop. But that second half, coming out of the locker room and adjusting is just showing the improvement that we're making as the game goes, not only as the season goes, but as the game goes. And now it's just a matter of, let's see if we can get these young guys going earlier. And if it happens, something cool can happen.
Is it nerves? Are the guys pressing early that they want to see something good to happen? And then they hear from you at halftime and they say, hey, we got to get rocking.
No, there's a lot of things, we talked about the difference between a young guy and a veteran. Veterans, I call them scars on their arms. They got all these experiences and all these things that have happened to them through their career, so they know exactly what to expect from start to finish. Where these young guys, it's all new, and they learn, and they're such quick learners, and they're so explosive. And by the start of the second quarter, you could start seeing them getting a little bit more comfortable because they're seeing things, and a lot of it has to do with excitement, plus everything's new, and once they get in the flow of things, they start to catch up, and then they're rolling. And so this team's going to get faster. It's going to get better. But it's exciting, it's because I do think we're heading in the right direction.
Rookie quarterback Zach Wilson said at times he's being too robotic and mechanical out there. Do you see that?
I can't speak for him. I don't even, I can see where he's coming from because of the fact that he's trying to be perfect. He's trying to go through his reads. He's trying to go through his progressions and his footwork and all that stuff. And that's just a matter of just reps, understanding that don't make it bigger than it needs to be. Own your moments, trust your preparation, just let it go rip from the start. And that's a lot of these young guys, not just him.
Yeah.
And I think we're getting closer. I do. It's because the amount of time that it's taking them is starting to diminish.
Overall, it might be getting lost in what's been happening offensively in the first half, but you guys have scored 47 points the last two games compared to 20 points the previous outings. Are you seeing strides on that side of the ball?
Well, that's the whole thing, right? I mean, it's where, disguised in the negativity and with regards to our record and the slow starts is an offense that's improving week in and week out. And they're getting to a point where they can move the ball. Our offense can move the ball. We can put up points, and there isn't a single person in the locker room that doesn't feel if we can get a stop in London in that fourth quarter that we're not going to go win the football game. And now it's just a matter of starting fast so we can finish faster. But they're moving the ball. Our offense is doing a really nice job, and Mike LaFleur's doing a really nice job, and it's getting better week in and week out. And now it's just time to put it together for four quarters.
Yeah, bottom line, the points are coming, and this league is all about scoring points. It's just making it happen a little bit earlier on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, and that's it. It's we've said it before: start fast, finish faster, and we're finishing faster. And now it's just a matter of starting fast.
Elijah Vera Tucker, what have you seen from him the last couple weeks?
He's getting better and better. He's got the right makeup. I mean, this game is very important to him. He's got a nastiness to him, elite athleticism. And like I said, as he gets comfortable and he gets reps and he gets time, he's only going to get better. So Joe did a knockout job going to get him, and we're glad we have him.
How much can a guy like Jared Davis help you when he returns to the lineup? Because he was raving about this system in the summer, talking about this is the best system he's ever played in, and now he's going to be playing alongside C.J. Mosley whenever he returns to the field.
For sure. So JD, his leadership, his speed, his length, his smarts, all of it, he brings a lot. You can never be short of great football players, and he was a first-round pick for a reason. I'm just excited for him to be able to show why he was a first-round pick. You
guys got some thumpers at the linebacker position. I mean, CJ's all over the field. Jared Davis was one of the hardest hitters in the National Football League, and Quincy's been a find.
Yeah, Quincy, again, Joe, phenomenal job finding him on the waiver wire from cutdown day in training camp, and I think he's caused 3 fumbles, and it's not like he's ripping at it. He's hitting people so hard that the ball's coming loose, which is pretty cool.
What's your top priorities for this bye week?
Finding ways to get a little bit better with regards to the start of the game, and finding ways to be more productive, not just on offense, but defensively also, and obviously keep special teams going with the way it is, and So we're working relentlessly as coaches, and the challenge to players is to try to find out within yourself with regards to how you practice, how you prepare yourself to play Sunday, to see if we can hit the ground running once a kickoff starts.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Hey, Jets fans, as you stock up for game day this season, keep an eye out for specially marked Pepsi products for your chance to win exciting Jets prizes from Pepsi, the official soft drink of the New York Jets. Up next, we'll go inside the film room with Brian Baldinger, and Ethan Greenberg will preview Week 6 in the AFC East. Stay tuned. Jets Game Day with Robert Saleh is brought to you by FanDuel.
Welcome back, Eric Allen alongside Bart Scott and Leger Douzable. Bart, what would it mean for this Jets defense to get both Jarrad Davis and Marcus May back in the lineup?
I mean, I think it'll be huge, right? Because you talk about Jarrad Davis and what he's been able to do or what he's capable of doing. He's a fast linebacker. I like him with Williams. It gives him speed. It gives him power at the point of attack. And it gives him athletes in space, and that's really what you want to have. And Marcus May coming back, kind of being that communicator. We saw CJ have to communicate to not just one, but to everybody when he changed the play a couple of weeks ago. Marcus May is also a communicator as well. He's a communicator of the back end. It takes a little bit off of the plate of CJ Mosley so that they can have communication and play at a higher level as far as from a football acumen standpoint. You're putting smart veterans on the field with some of these rookies that can do some of the thinking for them.
All right, let's flip it up a level again and go back to the linebackers. How do you envision it working when Jarrad Davis is able to come back as far as rotating perhaps, or will Davis and Mosley be on the field basically 100% of the plays?
Well, Williams has earned the right to kind of get playing time, but sometimes if you go to a traditional 4-3, Jarrad Davis is somebody who can play in space. I think his best position probably is the will linebacker. That allows him to be a elite athlete because now you have free scrapers. You got guys who are physical downhill, and allows C.J. Mosley to really spend a lot more time in the pass defense, right? I want CJ in the middle of the field, maybe closing a lot of those windows that are open from play action. We have young guys that are eager to hit, like Williams. Now CJ's back there and he can make everybody right.
And to Bart's point, Robert Saleh has already come out and said when Jarrad Davis is 100% healthy, the stamina is all up, he will start.
Yeah.
And I think he made a great point. Quincy Williams is a run-hit guy, physical guy. So try Quincy at the Sam when Jarrad Davis is 100% healthy, and then rotate, Quincy Williams and Sherwood. And then
and your special teams just got better.
Exactly.
Because now they can split time in special teams.
But real quickly, did the Jets find something here with Quincy Williams?
Oh, 100%. That was one of the clear-cut steals of the waiver wire by Joe Douglas, a guy that you could tell was probably out of position at Jacksonville, but now he's coming to this system, and they found a niche for him. This is a guy that's probably the fastest linebacker that we have. This guy just plays with a tremendous speed and effort, play in and play out, and you see the physicality that he plays with. Yeah, so you love that, and that's what Robert Saleh's defense is all about. All gas, no brakes. You got to have run-hit guys that can run sideline to sideline, but then be physical also.
Okay, let's flip it to the other side of the ball now with Brian Baldinger.
Thanks, EA. This week I want to take a look at Elijah Vera Tucker and his development through the first 5 weeks. There was no jet lag for Ollie Vera Tucker of the Jets at left guard, going across the pond to play the Falcons here. Here he is. He checks on Dante Fowler, and then he wheels on Deion Jones and just walls everybody off so that Michael Carter can drag a couple dirty birds for about 9 yards. And then here he is on a trap block. Gonna pull and kick out here on Dante Fowler Jr., and he flips him right up in the air. Runs right through him, like having an English tea right there, just having it his way. And 97 for the Falcons is their best defensive lineman. He had a very quiet day. Maybe because he ran into Ollie Vera Tucker right here. He gets that left hand on him. And Jarrad's trying to get it off. He can't get it off. And then he just pushes him by, and Zach Wilson gets the ball to Denzel Mims. And then this right here, you want to run a twist stunt? Jarrad goes inside, twist stunt. He just caves it all in. And so that Zach Wilson has that kind of a lane to throw the ball to. Ollie Vera Tucker is just playing at a really high level. He's going to be a good player for a long time in all phases of the game.
This is the AFC East Roundup.
Taking a look around the AFC East, let's start where the Jets left off. In London, the Dolphins right now playing the Jacksonville Jaguars at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. The Dolphins trying to snap a 4-game losing skid, while Jacksonville looking for its first win of the season. No 1 o'clock games in the AFC East, but at 4:25, the Patriots host the Cowboys in Foxborough. New England narrowly escaped in Houston last week as 4 offensive linemen did not play. Now 2-3, quarterback Mac Jones will line up against his former Alabama teammate, Cowboys corner Trayvon Diggs. And Diggs leads the NFL with 6 picks, while Jones has thrown an interception in each of his last 3 games. And let's wrap up with the Bills for a second straight week. Last week they were on Sunday Night Football, now they're on Monday Night Football against the Titans. And Buffalo stampeded over the Chiefs last week in Kansas City. Look at Josh Allen's numbers from the past 3 games, all right? 9 passing touchdowns, 1 interception, 123.3 quarterback rating. Those numbers do not include his rushing stats, and he ran for 2 touchdowns. But the marquee matchup here for the Bills, at least defensively, is stopping Derrick Henry. Buffalo number 3 against the run, Tennessee number 3 in rushing offense, and we'll see how it all plays out on Monday night. And as for the Jets, they're off this week before they head to Foxborough for the Week 2 rematch against the Patriots.
Don't go away. The guys are back with final thoughts after this. Now recruiting wide retrievers and feline backers. Want to see your pet on the big screen at MetLife Stadium? Enter now at NewYorkJets.com/MetLifePet. Jets Game Day with Robert Saleh is brought to you by MetLife.
Welcome back, Eric Allen alongside Bart Scott, Leger Douzable. Bart, why was it so advantageous for Joe Douglas to get a deal done with John Franklin Myers here at this point of the season?
Just smart business practice, right? Understanding that you have an ascending player. You know, before the season started, we were trying to figure out who was going to be that pass rusher opposite of Lawson. They brought in Vinny Curry. Vinny Curry had a medical issue, and Franklin Myers stepped up. And it's important that you always promote from within a player that you know, not just his what, but his why. This is something that both sides feel good about, happy about. He got paid early, and now he can take a lot of stress off his plate and allows him to go out there and play even better because now he's not worried about money. All he can worry about and focus on is football.
This defense is good in 2021. Yeah. It's going to be better in 2022. Carl Lawson back. But can we talk about that, the big picture here with the Jets? I think if you're watching from afar and you're listening to guys inside this building, they're gravitating towards Robert Saleh and this staff. And it does feel like a new culture. This is a new beginning.
Yeah, and we knew this was going to be a process. And the thing about Robert Saleh, players want to play for him because of the energy that he comes with day in and day out. This guy's an authentic guy. And Bart just talked about it. This is going to be a destination where players want to come to play. When I talked to Robert Saleh, he said it was monumental to get that deal done with JFN, John Franklin Myers, because you got Carl Lawson coming back. He said, we could add some pivotal pieces. And me, myself, playing in this defense, let me take you into this defense. Like, this defense is predicated off the defensive line. So you paid John Franklin Myers. You still got Quentin Williams for 2 to 3 years. Sheldon Rankins will be back next year. Carl Lawson, you still got him for 2 more years. Then you maybe add somebody in free agency. This is a process. We knew there was going to be a lot of bumps in the road, but they're heading in the right direction as far as the personnel they're bringing in, taking their time building it up right.
A bye week favorite destination?
Well, mainstay for me was always just to go to the Bahamas or go to Turks and Caicos. You don't want to go too far. You don't want to put too much dehydration on yourself, flying in and out. You know, you dehydrate. And plus, when you get there, you're going to dehydrate when you drink all those good Mai Tais. So I wanted to make sure that I,
How about you, Deuce?
I was able to come in and back in and back out.
So to me, it was always either when I lived in Atlanta, going back home just to get away to Atlanta, or when I moved to Florida, going back home to Florida just to get away. Sometimes you just got to decompress, get away from the game. The first few days, I would always self-scout myself, see what I needed to work on, not just me, but us as a team, period. And then I would just get away, get my massages, acupuncture, maybe have an adult beverage, 1 or 2 here or there. But just sometimes you got to just decompress and get away from the game, especially after a hard loss like the Jets, suffered last week versus the Falcons.
Nothing like salt water.
Hey, enjoy those cold beverages today. Thank you for joining us each and every week. We'll see you next Sunday.